Welcome back to Homeowner Talk. Right now we're pleased to welcome Elizabeth Daniels of the Fight Fraud Task Force. Elizabeth, first of all, I'd like to welcome you to Homeowner Talk. Maybe you can tell us a little bit about yourself and tell us a little bit about the Fight Fraud Task Force. Hopefully I'll get that right for the rest of the show.
It's a bit of a mouthful. Thank you for having me. I am, as you mentioned, Elizabeth Daniels, and I am the chairperson of the Fight Fraud Task Force. I'm also the Public Information Officer for the state's Department of Business and Industry, which has 14 agencies under its purview. Of course, you're familiar with the real estate division, also mortgage lending, financial institutions, housing division. All of those agencies would have some sort of relation to the topics you guys cover here. And it's partly due to that we formed the Fight Fraud Task Force. It actually came out of the Consumer Affairs Division, which, as you may know, was closed in the last legislative session due to budgetary issues. But it was started as an adjunct to that for two reasons. One was to develop a better mechanism for getting fraud information out to the public, warning signs, as well as where to go to get help. And the other was to bring our community together, all kinds of agencies, state, city, municipalities in general, along with other types of agencies and private sector people, to bring all of us together on a monthly basis so that we could talk about what scams were happening and better educate the public, and also tackle cases together if necessary.
So what are some of the problems or scams that you've seen recently or seem to be plaguing homeowners today?
We're definitely seeing foreclosure and mortgage modification scams. Those are the top ones that we're dealing with, and that would especially relate to your viewers here. Basically, people are struggling so much financially that they're looking for any avenue for help in terms of saving their homes, getting their loans modified so that they can keep the home, working with real estate agents to do short sales or those kinds of things. And of course, anytime there's a strong economic need, what we find is that the scammers pop up and take advantage of the situation and offer bogus services and assistance and leave the homeowners without their money and still facing foreclosure.
So the person who's actually looking for the relief actually becomes the victim of the scam. You just adding insult to injury. You're already troubled and now you've become victimized.
Well, exactly. And what we find is that people are so challenged in this current environment, not just with their homes, but they've potentially lost a job or been downsized. They've had someone go through a medical issue. They're facing so many challenges that some of their normal critical thinking is hard for them to follow up on. So something that a couple of years ago they might have recognized as too good to be true. Now they're a little more susceptible because they're in such a desperate situation.
Vulnerable even to these types of situations.
Exactly.
Well, and I think as you talked to us a little bit off the air, that really the key is it's so much better to avoid the scam than it is to try to recover from it or to enforce it or prosecute people for it. I think maybe we can focus a little bit more on the preventative things. What are some of the things you can help our viewers with to see these potential scams and then to react accordingly?
You are absolutely right. Even under absolutely ideal conditions, if we had enough manpower and resources, it'd still be really hard to go after all of the scammers. So prevention is key. And there are some general warning signs across all scams that are good to cover. One is that the scammers will pretend to be from the government or affiliated with some sort of government program. And that's been extremely difficult recently because we have had so many programs available federally, not so much on the state level, but very much federally, the stimulus programs. And the scammers will use the name or they'll use a similar sounding name. And the homeowner may have heard something on the news, not have all the details, and think, oh, they're with the government, this is a safe, stable program, it's going to help me. So that would be one thing, saying that they're from the government or pretending to be. The other would be that they make really outrageous promises. We've been seeing a lot of people saying, I guarantee I can save your home. I guarantee I can get you a loan modification. I guarantee I can get you a principal reduction. None of those guarantees are available. No one can guarantee that. So anytime someone makes you a guarantee like that, you always want to be very wary in dealing with them.
It doesn't seem like if the person making the guarantee isn't capable of giving what they say, they have to rely on someone else, there's no guarantee. In the earlier segment when Mr. Fine was talking about how people go door to door and they should have some kind of proof or license or permit, can that also be said if someone's saying, well, I'm here on behalf of the government, or I'm here on behalf of an agency, is there a follow-up question that the homeowner could ask, or some other information or documentation they should be asking for, so they know right up from the get-go this person's legitimate?
That's a great question, and yes, in certain cases there's some very specific information you can ask for. For instance, if they're saying they can do a loan modification for you, as you may know, they have to be licensed and bonded through the state, through the Division of Mortgage Lending. So if someone offers to do loan modification on your behalf for your home, you want to specifically ask them, are they licensed and bonded through the state? What is that license number? And then you can actually pull up on the internet, on the Division of Mortgage Lending's website, a list of all of the approved, licensed, and bonded loan modification companies. So you could even check that right online if you have online access at home.
And I think we have a website, a graphic of one of your websites here. I'm not sure if this is the one specifically that you're talking about, but I think it might be useful for our viewers.
Maybe you can tell our viewers what we have here.
Actually, this is not the Division of Mortgage Lending's website. This is our fightfraud.nv.gov website, which is one of the biggest education and outreach tools that we have to prevent all kinds of scams, but in this case particularly foreclosure and mortgage scams. And this lists the different types of scams that are out there. That little circular graphic you just saw was the different types of scams, gives you some general information. This graphic actually details the general warning signs that they pretend to be from the government, that they guarantee that they can save your home, that they pressure you to pay or to sign. Those are the general warning signs. And then a really key component is, how does a homeowner know where to go for legitimate help? So we actually have a toll-free number provided with that graphic that you were just looking at that goes statewide, but locally here in Southern Nevada, it's 229-HOME, HOME, provided through the City of Las Vegas, that will refer homeowners to HUD-approved nonprofit housing counselors. And the great thing about working with them is that they understand the full range of services available to a homeowner, not just loan modification. They can help them with budget issues. They can help them decide if a short sale is right for them, or any of those other services, and they don't charge the homeowner a fee.
Are there any other preventative measures you can think of that would be appropriate to share with our viewers? I know we talked about identifying the person, making sure that who they are and what they're doing, maybe checking on their permits or calling on that. Is there anything else you can think of that might be helpful?
The research is absolutely key. Before you sign any paperwork, do your research. Contact the Better Business Bureau. Google them. Just a simple internet search can reveal a ton of information. Just like scammers take advantage of the internet, we as consumers are very vocal when we've been ripped off, and those things will be posted online, so do your research that way as well.
And I think one of probably the most important preventative measures is something that we've all heard of. If it sounds too good to be true, it probably is too good to be true. And reading the paper and hearing these horrible stories, usually that's the first line of defense. And I wish people were a little bit more critical in what they're willing to give into, because I think that would stop a lot of this fraud.
You're absolutely right, and I would recommend that people take a few minutes, take 24 hours. If the person is legitimate, they will have no problem waiting to contract with you till you're ready. So don't give in to high pressure tactics. Give yourself time to think and to research before you decide to turn over any funds to someone.
Elizabeth, if any of our viewers want to contact you, is there any way they could contact you for more information? How do they do that?
Certainly, yep. On the fightfraud.nv.gov website, there is a link for contact, and my name, my phone number, my email, my fax number is all available right there.
We'll try to, maybe we can get it on our website as well, the connection or link to you, so they can, if someone logs on to us, they can find you, because this has been very, very helpful information, just great stuff.
Wonderful.
Thanks
Thank you
again for this very valuable information and insight, Elizabeth. We have more information and links also on our website, and we hope you'll take advantage of that. When we come back, we will answer a viewer's question about homeowners association issues and talk a little bit about Community Association Institute.